Take a Ride podcast. I'm your host here, Starks. You can find me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Closing Hero. I'm not here alone this evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be in the fantasy world. I have the wingman running the 3, LT the Sage. How you doing today, brother?
Doing good. Just had a good international chess day. Ready to go ahead and talk about some fantasy with you, brother.
Yes, international chest day. Yeah, I had upper body workout earlier today as well too.
So you mean the chest?
Body armor, maybe. Yeah, sure. We got to run with it. It's going to be one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen. So yes. Whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked out our website, newlifefantasy.com, make sure you do. Join the mailing list. Join as a member. It helps us to continue to let our brand grow. If you haven't, make sure you guys subscribe to Take a Ride podcast. Check out a new YouTube channel, Sub-Zero, that subscribe button at the bottom, or actually at the top. Make sure you comment below, give us a thumbs up. I'm all over the place tonight, but it's going to be one of those episodes. So listeners, we definitely appreciate the support that you guys do. LT's putting the hard work behind the YouTube channel. And if you guys missed out on the weekend 2-part 200 episode, please check that out. Some great content with a lot of hilarious content behind it as well. We're just going to touch up on a lot of games that happened here on this Monday, and then at the same time, we'll talk a little bit about the recent news. I'll pass you the ball, LT, to run that offense there, brother.
Thank you, brother. We're going to be talking about just a couple of things here on the recent news. First thing I want to touch on is just since we didn't we didn't cover some games from last night, I'm going to touch on a couple of notable performances from last night. Greek Freak, man, he went off 17 for 28, 20 rebounds last night, and 41 points. I don't know if you knew that, Starks, but he went off last night. Absolutely crazy. One of our guys, Milkshake, I call him Milkshake Milton.
I do too, yeah.
Whoa. Where did he come from, Starks? You talked about him a little bit. I know we talked about it a little bit a week ago, but he has come out of nowhere. 39 buckets last night, 5 assists, 1 steal, 4 for 5 from the charity, 7 snipes. I saw some of the highlights. He looks smooth out there. Looks smooth. My guy, the original OG, Anuabi, he had a great night as well. 12 for 16, 3 snipes, 5 for 5 from the charity, 7 rebounds. What I'm about to say. 7 steals. Woo! Count them. Wow. And I think in a losing effort too. So it's crazy. Then for my fourth guy here, hey man, looks like unicorns are real. Kristaps Porzingis, 13 for 25, 6 snipes, 6 for 10 from charity, 13 rebounds, 5 blocks on the night with 38 points. This is without LUKA D out there on the court last night. Wow. And then for the 5th guy, it was a toss-up, but I have to go with the younger stud. Everyone always talks about LeBron. I got to go with the younger stud here, Zion Williamson, with a great performance again, 12 for 16. He's one of the most efficient players I've seen come out as a rookie, right? Usually rookies are like not efficient. He is so efficient. 11 for 13 from the charity. Was hitting his free throws this game. 7 rebounds, had the 6 turnovers, no stock stats, but 35 points against a marquee matchup against LeBron. I have to give him props on this list here. And then there were some other there's other people who went off. David Bertans is somebody that off the top of my head that had a 29-point game with Bradley Beal doing a lot of damage as well. But I'm going to go into some recent news and some quick hits. If Starks, if you want to chime in and just tell me what you feel about these. I got Oladipo swelling in his right knee.
It's not good to hear.
I know. That's one of your guys. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. So he did not play tonight for the Pacers. I'm sure everybody is going to pick up the slack there over in the Pacer land. Warren G, Sabonis, all those players are going to be putting in the extra work. Starks, anything about your boy Dippo?
Yeah, so as you know, LT, I was mentioning earlier, when he was coming back, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to trade him in a Dynasty format because I'm still concerned with the quad, situation. Now, obviously it's not as quad as a knee, but hey, it's the same leg that he had surgery on. So that's something that still is a red flag. And as you see, LT, you pulled it up. I wrote an article on Dippo. It's the Juju effect. It's back. Yo, hey, let me go ahead and share this to you, LT. What if I told you before I wrote that Dippo article, I was ready to write an article on Ben Simmons, and look where he's at right now.
Are you serious?
No joke, man. This is crazy, man. I gotta stop.
Man, you gotta stop writing articles. Hey, Stark, it's not even like, we don't believe in that type of stuff, but man, dude, it's crazy how, LUKA D, Victor Von Doom, Blake Griffin, man, just it's crazy what's going on here. So yeah. But I brought that up just because that was pretty funny to me. LUKA D, I just want to bring this up. Not too much news on this, but he's back after a sprained thumb. A little bit of a scare, but not too big. We knew he'd be back pretty soon, but he is back and ready to play. So just remember that. Porzingis' stock may go down a little bit. Maybe the only Curry that matters may take a little bit less shots now. But still, they're better with him on the court, so it's good for them. A little bit of overall NBA news. The Knicks hire a new president, Leonardo or Leon something. I don't know who he is, but yeah, maybe he's on the Titanic because the Knicks are a sinking ship. So you like that segue, don't you? But but yeah, new president. Maybe just maybe. They play the right players now. Probably not, but we'll see what happens. And I thought this was a funny last little bit. Lakers to work out Dion Waiters. They had Daniels, right? Troy Daniels. Mm-hmm. Who is Waiters better than Daniels? Like I don't think so. I would rather have Daniels than that headache of Waiters. But Waiters has connections with LeBron, so maybe LeBron always likes to help out his homies. So maybe he's trying to get Waiters a job. Maybe Waiters needs some money. But anyways, that's all I have for the recent news. And I'll pass it over to you, or I can go ahead and try to take it over with some scores, man.
Yeah, we'll get to the scores. I want to say one more thing about our guy, Shake Milton. We like to call Milkshake Milton. So, yeah, man, this is a guy I wanted to get on my team because obviously, I didn't get to talk about him last game when me and Jacob did the streaming for the week. Make sure you guys check out, Jacob's streaming article for the week to get you that punch. Definitely good content there on newlifefantasy.com. Porgy, what we like to call him, Jang, was one of his top ads for the week just because of the situation in Minnesota. We know about Towns. We won't get into it, but you guys understand. But going back to Shake Milton, or we can also call him Milton Bradley, but I like Milkshake Milton as well, is that he wasn't one of those spectacular guys come out of college, right? I get it. But the percentages now, I know what the type of game that he had yesterday was like, maybe like he's going to give these inflated games. It was an outlier. I mean, he shot 14 for 20, but that 39 points, that's just like you got to take notice of it. It was exactly a lot of tweets coming out, the 5 assists. Hit 7 snipes out of 9. And the thing is, I will say this, and come out of college, he was a good percentage shooter. So I'm not saying this is, like I said, this is more of an outlier. It's not something that's going to be done consistently. But you can expect the field goal percentage to be pretty good for this type of guard, as well as his free throw percentage is going to be pretty strong as well. And he gets you some good hustle stats, right? So even the game prior before that, he had 2 blocks. That's an outlier, but you're going to appreciate the steals that he can get from time to time. We know that Ben Simmons is out for indefinitely at this point in time. And then you got Embiid out too. So the usage rate is going to be vacuum sucked up from him in particular. He's going to get all the love there. He's looking good, LT. And honestly, man, I was lucky enough to get him in a deep Dynasty format. Nice, man. And it feels good to get a player like that. I even took a risk on him in a redraft league, in a deeper one that we're in, and it's working out. But I like to see what's going to happen. You got to take these particular ads for these type of players that help you to give that punch, because it's these type of players that can help you get a fantasy championship. It's weird, but you got to take it in. But I'll pass you back the ball for the games coming up, man.
Absolutely. And Milkshake, I just want to add, he was the #1 trending topic on NBA Twitter last night. He was, and this is crazy because I had posted our I had posted our YouTube video up before all of that, before this game even occurred, and I didn't even know he was going to have a breakout. I was just basing it off of some of the things he was doing earlier, and he went off. So just amazing. I'm glad to see it. And these are the type of players that you wanted to keep an eye on. They make this type of splash. They're going to stick with Ben Simmons in Philly, right? But maybe another team looks at what Shake Milton is doing, looks for a trade in the offseason for him. So just keep your eyes peeled for that type of maybe he gets an opportunity to start somewhere. So I hope for the best for Mr. Shake Milton here while Ben Simmons is on. Hopefully you picked him up. We're going to switch over to the first game, and wow, this is interesting. This may be our Eastern Conference Finals right here, and we have Milwaukee against Miami, and the mighty Bucks have gone down. And Giannis did not have a fun night tonight. And looks like Bam Bam Bigelow, one of my guys. He's becoming one of my favorite big men. It looks like he had a good game. Greek Freak with 15 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 13 points. Only 13 points. That's not going to cut it, Greek Freak. He wasn't in foul trouble. Chris Middleton, monkey in the middle, he didn't have a good game either. 4 for 16. Jeez, 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. This is an outlier game. Remember, Miami is a tough team. They're high energy. There probably was going, getting up for this type of game here. And then Brooke Lopez had fun, though. 8 for 16, 2 snipes, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 21 points. But no one else seemed to have too much fun on the team of the Bucks, man. Anything you wanted to mention, Starks?
Nope. We can go ahead and go on to the Miami side.
Miami Heat put a blaze to the Bucks tonight, and it looks like they were being led by Mr. Jimmy Butler, Mr. Buckets himself. I wake up at 6 a.m. every morning and get to the gym. What a man's man. 7 for 14, 1 for 1, 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. Did it all tonight. Derrick Jones Jr. didn't have a great night, but Bam Adebayo, Starks, man, 5 for 16. But 13 rebounds, 3 blocks, 1 steal. Man, that 5 for 16 is actually awful, but he had the minutes going for him. He had the 4 for 6 from the charity, had the high rebounds, and had the 3 blocks and 1 steal. So you'll take it, and the 5 assists, a little bit of everything. Anything else on this on the Heat side you wanted to look at, Starks?
Yeah, it looks like one of your original boys, Clem Crowder. Jay Crowder had himself a pretty good game off the bench with 29 minutes. This also comes on the heels of Tyler Hero. Your other guy has been out for a little while.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
I will say this, scrolling back up a little bit, Kendrick Nunn, he's played a little bit better here recently as well. It's because of Duncan Robinson too. So the thing with Duncan Robinson, for the listeners, it's like his minutes has been trending downward, upward. It keeps going back and forth, and it kind of stifles Kendrick Nunn a little bit. But like I said, again, with Kendrick Nunn, where you picked him up, if you drafted him in a very deep format, or more likely you picked him up from the waiver wire in a deep format, you're still feeling good for the type of production that he's been given, around the top 100 production. I mean, honestly, you got him from basically garbage and scraps, so we can go ahead and transition to the next game there.
Absolutely. Utah versus Cleveland, and Utah putting that sweet jazz music onto the Cleveland Cavs. I mean, Utah has been on a huge push lately. 38 for 22. That's a really good record. They've been playing pretty well. Mitchell has been going off lately, but tonight it was the Baj Bog, Bobo. He went for 33 minutes, 10 for 19. You okay over there, man?
Yeah, I was thinking about Bo.
Yeah, I was about to say, think about Bo. Yeah, exactly. I know you. 10 for 19, 5 snipes, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. Got you some good little stats here with the 28 points. Love to see it. Royce the 5'9", and he's only good at rapping, but he is good at being efficient. 4 for 6, and all 4 of those were what? Snipes. That's what he's here for. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. If you are, counting on him, unfortunately, then he did produce decently for you tonight. And Starks, I got a Rudy himself. Looks like he came out to play tonight, man. How do you like his stat line?
Oh yeah, like you said, Rudy Gobert, 20 points and 5 blocks, very efficient. Free throw percentage 4 for 4, 8 for 9. Field goal percentage, like he almost didn't miss a shot. 2 steals, 1 assist. Listen, Rudy Gobert is the type of player that I'm not the biggest fan of him, but these type of stats, it warrants to be on your team. You know what you get from him. It's a nice icing on the cake for him to be perfect at the charity stripe, 4 for 4. As you said, Donovan Mitchell pretty good at this game in particular as well. Now, Mike Conley, I was kind of concerned. I honestly still am, man. I almost feel like he's cooked, to be honest with you. It's about that time. And you know, a lot of people were kind of ragging on Ricky Rubio, but look what Rubio has done this year in Phoenix. It kind of makes you think, what is it like to play with and coincide with Donovan Mitchell? Maybe if Conley was at a different team, maybe he would play better. But I don't remember Rubio playing this poorly, but Mike Conley did have a pretty good game, 30 minutes, 6 for 12, 15 points, 6 assists. He didn't get any steals that we remember him as to get you those hustle stats. Joe Ingles did all right. Well, he didn't really do anything special. The 28 minutes. Jordan Clarkson, 13 points, 2 rebounds. Some games he's just going to explode, and that's pretty much it. We can move forward. And Tony Bradley, last thing, is just a deep dynasty format. You're just going to hope. Obviously, you wouldn't want to wish an injury on anybody, but he's the next man up after Gobert, and he's going to be legit in a dynasty format.
Nice. We'll move over to the Cavs side, and it looks like, ooh, my guy looks like he was making sweet. That's exactly what you know what I'm talking about. Colin Sexton, 11 for 17 what? From the field goal.
What just happened?
Exactly. 4 for 6 from the 3, 6 for 8 from the free throw, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Wow. That is a outlier stat right there for Mr. Sexton himself, but he had 32 points. That is beautiful to see. And again, in points leagues, man, he is a force. He is consistent. He knows how to pour in the points. He was even efficient tonight. So he might be, taking that next step. No, I'm just kidding. But he is doing very well this year. Kevin Porter Jr., is that a starting 40-minute performance by Kevin Porter Jr., Starks? That is. Okay. This is one of Starks' guys that he told you guys to watch out for. The new Transporter, 5 for 14, 2 snipes, 4 for 5 from the charity, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. That's a pretty good line. 16 points for 40 minutes. And then let's see here. The bench, guess what? The bench did nothing. We're not even going to touch up on the bench. Chetty Osman, the Osmanator, 14, that's not what we call him, but 14 points, 6 for 14. Exactly, Osmanator. 2 for 6 threes, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. 1 steal. Pretty good. Starks, anybody else on here that you want to touch on? Maybe your guy, expand a little bit more on the Mr. Porter?
No, it's just good to definitely see the Porter get the opportunity and time. Listen, especially Cleveland, what are they playing for? They're 17 and 44. It's a wasteland team, unfortunately. Kevin Love had a pretty good game. But going back to Kevin Porter Jr., as I kept mentioning, listen, as a team becomes a wasteland team, you got to look for these guys that's coming off the bench, especially rookies that has upside that is going to get opportunity on the court. Just like how you highlighted 40 minutes tonight. He had the most minutes on the team in particular. He shot inefficient. I don't care because nothing else matters if you're punting field goal percentage. I particularly do. So that doesn't really matter to me. I like to pump up the volume. I haven't said that for quite some time. But the 4 assists, that is a good sight to see from him with the steal and block. And he's a person that can hit you snipes. He took 9 attempts from the 3-point line. So that is something special to see. And I'll pass you back the ball for the next game.
Yeah, just also want to mention that a lot of players on the Cavs were injured, so they didn't have a lot of.
Darius Garland didn't play either.
Garland didn't play. Exum didn't play. Tristan Thompson didn't play. Andre Drummond didn't play. So a lot of people played high minutes because it was a necessity tonight. We're going to switch over to one of my guys. They played early at 4 p.m. I didn't understand why, but were playing earlier, so I was kind of following this game. And Portland comes out with the W, 130-107 over Orlando. Thank God we're better than Orlando. Seriously, I was worried about this game. But it took my guy, CJ McCollum, to come out with 41 points tonight. And that's what I want to see him do. He has the ability to do that without Lillard on the court. But to be honest with you, some of these young bucks have been outplaying him just a teeny bit. But Gary Trent Jr., this is one of Starks' Twitter loves. He loves posting about him on Twitter. I've been watching it, and I love him showing love to my Portland team. 9 for 16, 4 snipes, 2 free throws attempts. That's okay. And then that was 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block. Oh, nice little side hustle there on the blocks. 24 points, second most on the team. Starks, anything you wanted to tell the listeners about Gary Trent, man?
Yeah, you know I'm probably going to juice it hard on him, as I always do, and then probably listeners get tired of it. But, hey, it's okay. Listen, Gary Trent Jr., just to juice it even more, because it's going to seem like every time we talk about him, I'm going to always juice it. But he's just one of those players, like, listen, I seen him, when he was playing. He did this one move. I was just like, wait a minute, is this really Gary Trent Jr.? He basically did an in-and-out move and did a step back to the three-point line. I was like, oh, it's the come-out party. So the thing is, he's more just like a 3-and-D guy, but he does a little bit more. I've seen him do some pick and rolls in Portland as well. Obviously, Damian Lillard is gone, or not gone, but he's injured. So I think it's safe to say when Lillard comes back, regardless of Gary Trent comes off the bench, it looks like he's going to get rotation minutes, and I love to see that. I also have him in a deep dynasty format, and if you are – in a shallow format, honestly, he's a short-term ad if he's still available, like in maybe a potential 12 to 14-man league. For sure, 14 and 16-man league, but to even consider a guy like this almost in a 12-man league, it's legit. Now, I know you haven't been on with me back and forth talking to Trent about Trent, LT, but I was going to say this. I know Portland's your team. Let me ask you this, because he's getting more minutes than Nasir Little and Anthony Simons, and I'm just like, these were more of the guys that was more popular coming out the rookie draft, and it looks like Gary Trent is actually, I'm not saying he's the better one, but he's getting more of the minutes. That's not to say that Simons and Nasir Little's not going to be good. I'm not saying that, but what's your thoughts on those 3 in particular? Do you believe that Trent is potentially maybe better than those other 2? What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, definitely. The thing I like about Gary Trent, he has a little bit of size on him at 6'5", and so he's able to guard potential threes as well as the 2 spot. Anthony Simons is more of a point guard. As far as he's around 6'3", his height advantage as far as his wingspan. I like Gary Trent's ability to create offense automatically.
Yeah.
Anthony needs to get hot. Zero Little, he needs another year, another 2 of really getting into the game flow to learn his role. I feel like once he figures out what his role is, what he needs to be doing out there on the court, I think he could be a nice little back-end piece for us. But yeah, Starks, Gary Trent is offense, man, and he comes out there, he shoots the ball with confidence, he has his stroke down pat, he knows what his role is, and he comes out and he takes care of it. Look at this. If you look right now, we know Lillard's off. He shot the ball 16 times. Think about it. If Anthony Simons was coming out and he was starting, you would see about 7 to maybe 9 shots from Anthony Simons, and then CJ McCollum would have had like 30, right? No, Gary Trent's like, you know what? They need my offense. I'm gonna produce, and they give him the leeway to do so, and he's been producing and helping us. I don't even know if afloat is a word, but he's been producing and helping us to try to get through this part of the tough season where Lillard's hurt. So Starks, he may be more game ready than the other 2. I still like Anthony Simons. I still like his game. I still like what he can bring to the table as a backup point guard to Lillard. I think they're both of their games are pretty similar. But I do like that. But Gary Trent could be a potential replacement for CJ McCollum and make CJ McCollum expendable or tradable, huh? Whoa,
sweet.
What happened here? Got me.
Ariza.
Yeah, like Ariza just popped up in my face. Yeah, what was that? Whoa. All right, go ahead. Orlando, I don't know what just happened, bro. All right, Orlando. All right, we're looking at James Ennis III. Sorry, I didn't mean to mention him. Nikola Vucevic with 12 for 24, 11 rebounds, 3 snipes. 1 steal, no blocks for Vooch. Come on, big man, get those arms up. 30 points, though. You love to see it. And then, T-Pain or Ricky Rouse, which one you like. Hey, he's here. 23 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, another points league dandy. 7 for 15, 4 snipes. I mean, yeah, he had an okay game. Looks like Fultz was at fault for this game. Starks, anything to say about the Magic?
Gary Clark trash. Move on.
Who's Gary Clark, man?
I don't pay. Listen. I don't even pay attention to Orlando. That's kind of disrespectful. I'm sorry, listeners.
Oh man, man, bring whatchamacallit back ASAP. Yeah, but he's gone for the year. So
Augustin or
no. Your boy, man. The block master.
Oh, Isaac,
yeah, bring Isaac back. Gary Clark, who's that? Anyways, we're gonna go over to Houston. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. Looks like the Knicks, the Knickenbockers came out to play. Look at that. Look at RJ. Look at Barry. He's ready. And he 125 to 123. Wow, what a game. Covert Ops had a good game, 7 for 14, 6 snipes. Man. I know, Covert. Look, these are very Covert Ops stats too. 13 rebounds. When you look at your opponent and say, hey, how is he beating me in rebounds? He doesn't even have any big man playing. He probably has Covert Ops in his lineup. 2 steals, 1 block, 20 points. Danwell, the house is on fire. 7 for 15, 4 snipes, 2 free throws. 2 rebounds, 1 swipe. Oh, they little swap with Covert Ops. Yeah, only 1 steal, but then the 2 blocks on his side with the 20 points. They were like, I don't even know. They were like brothers tonight. PJ Tucker. Hey, Starks.
What's up?
How do you say 0 in Spanish?
Zero.
Hey, zero. Hey, tuck them in. Hey, PJs. Hey, PJ, put your PJs on and tuck them in. Zero.
Project Pat, come on, man.
Hey, man, what he had 33 minutes too, Starks. Hey, I could have went out there, Starks. Trust and believe. I could have played center for them and did more than he did tonight. Just want to be honest with you. James Harden, 8 for 22, doing his best. Harden. 3 for 13 from the 3-pointer, but 16.
Game changer, exactly.
Game changer. This is so disgusting. Hey, Harden, by the way, listeners, I'm going to go on a little spiel. Hey, Harden, shut up about Giannis, okay? Look at these stat lines, bro. I don't care what anybody says, Harden. I know you're out there trying your best, but anybody who has 16 for 16 free throws, I think they have an objective in mind on what they're trying to do out there on the court. I don't know why you would think everybody would be able to just run in the lane and get fouls. No, you've perfected the art. You are a foul artist. That's what you are, and that's what you'll continue to be in my head and in my mind. When I'm looking at the stat lines, Harden, okay? I'm looking at them, and guess what? 3 for 13, boo-boo. 8 for 22, boo-boo. But look, you saved it because you ran in the lane and shoulder shrugged and raised your arms up in front of people and got fouls called. 8 assists. He is a good passer. 4 swipes. Okay. 35 points. I'd like to see that. Harden does steal the ball pretty well. So surprisingly enough with his bad defense, right? But my original guy, Westbrook, 9 for 19. I'll take it. 5 for 7 from the charity. 1 for 3. That's not his game, but 9 rebounds. 3 assists. That's his game. 6 turnovers and 1 blockaroonie. I love to see it. I like that game. I mean, you'll take the turnovers all day long with him. Starks, anybody off the bench you wanted to talk about on Houston, man?
Eric Gordon, I mean, he did decent off the bench. But also, let me say this real quick. Houston, we know they're running the ultra-small offense there. Project Pat, PJ Tucker's playing center, but it looks like Covington was actually the center because he got the most rebounds on the team. But I think it's at this time that they need to go ahead and stop messing around and pull Hartenstein from the G League, man. Like, I understand they want to go super ultra small ball, but try a big man. Since they were struggling this game against New York, what could have Hartenstein done? Obviously per his 36 minutes as a big man, he's legit in Houston. They just want to keep him in a G League because they want to run the small ball offense. Going on to New York side, We do see that your boy, Glorious Julius Randle, inefficient, 5 for 14. But what you love, what's crazy is those 16 rebounds. That's just outrageous. The 4 assists is 16 points. Oh, one of my original guys, Hark, who goes there, 4 for 8. Terrible at the charity stripe, 3 for 6, 6 rebounds, 11 points. RJ Barrett, man, listen, he's actually played a little bit better here the last couple games. Obviously, with the rookie, you're going to get a lot of inconsistencies. The 30 minutes, very efficient, 10 for 18. She made 3 snipes. Charity stripe, not that the best, 4 for 7, but the 27 points with the 5 assists and 5 rebounds. And I'll pass you the ball to touch up on everybody else if you need to.
Oh, do I? Okay. Mitch Robinson, 24 minutes, 5 for 8, 13 rebounds. Hey, New York. Maybe you should play him more minutes. I'm just saying you might be onto something. Get him 30 plus minutes a game.
Or you could just start him. I don't know.
Oh, Taj Mahal. Because let's be honest with you, Taj Mahal, guess what? He might as well been in the Taj Mahal. I mean, he had 10 rebounds. I mean, he played his heart out, right? He played his heart out. Gave you 23 minutes before he had to get a defibrillator. So, I mean, you love this. It just baffles me that New York needs an infusion of youth. They need to get ready for next year, trying to get that going. And Mitch Robinson, I don't know, maybe he's in the doghouse. Maybe he's in the doghouse Starks. I'm not too sure what's going on with him. But I'm seeing him produce off the bench with lower minutes, and it's just kind of disgusting. Your guy did not play inactive. Did he get hurt, Starks? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he just has a little small owie right now. I don't know. The Knicks, we just know what they're about, man. We can move forward, man.
We got another team here. Oh, Pacers without Dippo. Looks like they're getting it done tonight. 112 to 109. It's a close game still. 15 seconds left. San Antonio could throw a Hail Mary. We'll see what happens. But we'll look at some of these scores. TJ, Warren G. I told you guys, a couple of these guys are going to step up with Dippo out of the lineup. Warren did, of course, 8 for 14, 3 snipes, 4 for 5, 7 rebounds, 1 swipe. Gave you a little bit of a stock stat there. Sabonis, quiet game from Saboni, 6 for 8 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 1 block, 5 assists. It's okay. A little slow game for you, but Starks, I see a Turner alert. You want to talk about your boy here?
Yeah, Miles Turner, man, and finally had a pretty good game. Actually, one of the games prior to, he had a lot of blocks, but this game he had 4 blocks. This is why you draft him, with obviously the good percentages typically at the free throw line that you're going to get from Miles Turner. 15 points. Malcolm Brogdon in the middle had a good game, and honestly, he could step up. I think what I like about Brogdon, he accepts his role, but this is when Dippo came back, he took a major back seat. But I think he should just go ahead and play what he was doing before Dippo came back and before he got hurt. And with these stats that he's doing, he was perfect at the charity stripe, 7 for 7, 8 for 15, 25 points, and 6 rebounds and 7 assists. He's legit. And honestly, he's been playing poorly. He was more of a buy low candidate a few weeks ago. Obviously, the trade deadline is far away now in Yahoo formats. But after the season's over, maybe you hope that he plays a little bit just decently, because maybe you can still buy low on him. Because again, as much as I love Dippo, as LT knows and everybody knows, I'm still concerned. Even at that knee soreness, he could potentially be out for a while, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot worse than that. So I'll pass you back the ball on if there's anybody else, or if you want to touch on the Spurs there.
No one else. I'll touch up on the Spurs. Looks like we had a Panty Mayonnaise experience tonight. Yeah. Doug funny. 7 for 13, 6 snipes off the bench. Only 23 minutes of work, 3 swipes, and 24 points. That's somebody you definitely would like to have on the back of your bench, putting in work for those up to the almost playoff time for multiple leagues. DeRozan wetted the bed tonight. 3 for 9, 2 for 3 from the charity, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, but only 10 points. One thing you expect DeRozan to do is score the rock. Is it Trigger Trey? No, just kidding. It's Trey. Just Trey. Lyles, 8 for 17. Wow, 4 snipes, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Wow, if you picked them up in ESF leagues or wow, he had a great game. And then Forbes 100, Or if it's 500, who knows? 4 for 9, 4 snipes. Okay. Everything was a snipe. 2 for 3 from the free throw and 1 turnover. No stock stats, no nothing else. He was just standing on the 3-point line shooting. That's all he did tonight. 14 points though. So you love that production. Starks, what do you think about Drew Eubanks?
Oh man, I don't think anything of him, right? So I will say this, obviously, as well. If you can scroll down a little bit, obviously LMA is gone, injured, and then Jakob Poeltl's injured as well too. So I don't think of anything of Eubanks, but I definitely like to see him. I mean, you could maybe in a very deep format, if you're streaming, if those two guys are out, you could stream them. But Lonnie Walker, I just want to say that, again, I know a lot of people gave up on him, but he's also a potential dynasty darling in the future. And if the Spurs don't get it together, well, actually, they're in the playoff hunt, I suppose. No, they kind of are.
They kind of are, yeah, with us too, yeah.
So that's a fight. But if it happens that, they don't, if it's closed out, you can expect him to get more playing time down the stretch. But again, dynasty formats, I'd like to have him on my team. The minutes is not always going to be there. You got to accept the inconsistency, but we can go on to, I think there's another game there, LT?
Yeah, I think there's one more game we got here. We got 2 more games. We got Dallas losing to Chicago.
Oh.
What is happening tonight? The Bulls put it on the Dallas Mavericks. And your guy had a big game, though. Oh, my God. What is happening? This is like upside down world on the Mavericks. 10 for 21. We're talking about Timmy Hardaway. 10 for 21, 4 for 12 from the 3. Yikes. 2 for 2 free throws, but somehow, still has 26 points. That's an awful line, but hey, you'll take it if you have him. Oh, Maxi Kleber. 4 for 8, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, and 3 blockaroos. I love to see that. LUKA comes back inefficient. Missed 1 out of 8. 1 8 out of 3-pointers. 9 assists though, 1 steal. He came back and did okay. A little bit inefficient, but you'll have that after you're just coming back from a sprained finger. Starks, what really? You know why they lost, right? The only Curry that matters did not play tonight. It's not about Unicorn. It's about the only Curry that matters. Seth himself didn't play, so that's probably why they lost. I guess also Porzingis didn't play either. So, and they only lost by 2. So that explains everything you need to see. Starks, anything you want to speak on this game, man? On the Dallas side.
Well, I was going to say this. I forgot I had it up, but I know Jalen Brunson. I don't know if he's out for the whole season. I can't remember if that's the case or not. But if he is, that's going to be tough for them in kind of transition in real life NBA. We talked about them earlier, LT, about Dallas, who they could potentially play in the playoffs. And they don't have Jalen Brunson, man. To me, that's a little bit of a hit. But just like you say, the only Curry that matters, Steph Curry, has been exploding on the scene. So that's going to be the massive boost. But, yeah, we can go ahead to the Chicago side.
They don't need Brunson, man. They got Willie Cauley-Stein now, remember, man?
Hey, man, shut up. The DMP CDs. Listen, I feel bad for those that believed in him and still do. I don't know.
You said he's on the corner of the Chinese store selling CDs, man? DMP CDs, man?
Out the back of the trunk. That's dirty. What, man, you're dirty. Thaddeus Young from Chicago side. 35 minutes, and he's been – I don't know. He's been pretty good. It's hard to even. That's a hard pill to swallow. Wendell Carter Jr. is back, but I don't expect him to explode. He's going to be on minutes restriction almost like the rest of the season. I know a lot of people is just having a hard time swallowing this production from him this season in particular with all these injuries. And honestly, he's like an injury risk, player right now. Denzel Valentine, or I can use also. I know you spoke about Doug Funny, Patty Mayonnaise, but I could also say Skeeter Valentine. Denzel Valentine got the start here. 7 for 15, exactly. LT, smell it or drink it in. 3 snipes, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block. I don't know why. I don't even know where I'm going, but I will say this: why is Denzel Valentine even playing? Why is he even? No, what not? He's okay. Why is he starting? Is really my question. Why don't they just go ahead and start Kobe White alongside with Thomas Satoransky? Just try it. But hey, the coach knows better than me because they beat Dallas. I'll pass you the ball if there's anything else you want to touch up here.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Tomas has to go, Mas, okay? Look, listen here. I know a lot of people like Satoransky out there. I've watched his game. Guess what? I almost fell asleep. Actually, I did fall asleep watching him play. Get Kobe, Jack, White Cheese out there. Get him 32 minutes in the starting lineup. Get him out there. Get him experience. It's not just I have him in a dynasty league. I know that may sound like the reasoning. I want him to produce. But no, seriously though, I really like this Kobe White guy. I think he is a difference maker on the court. And in fantasy leagues, if he can get consistently 32 minutes plus, he'll be a force. And I want him to get experience so next year people can forget about him. I can pick him up later in the rounds, and he can explode. So just keep your eye out for Kobe White. He's going to need some changes to that starting lineup to get more time. Also, it looks like the real old transporter had some minutes tonight. Older Porter Jr. had 17 minutes and played awesome in those 17 minutes. So keep your eyes out for Otto Porter Jr. maybe getting a little bit more minutes, ramping up here. I believe he's been injured. So, and also a lot of people did not play tonight in this game either. Zach LaVine did not play, and White Knight's favorite guy, Lauri Markkanen, did not play either. So neither did Chris Dunn, the Steel Master. So a lot of injuries on both sides, a lot of rest. Looks like it was just kind of one of those games. Now we have one more game to go over. Go ahead.
I was going to also say, just to juice the orange a little bit on your boy, Kobe White Cheese or Kobe Jack and Cheese. So the last 6 games, he's actually been given early third round value, right? And in 31 minutes, 25 points, 4 snipes, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, shooting 48%. And that charity stripe is shooting 92%. So, man, his usage rate is 30%. It's just outrageous what he's doing right now. Listen, I just think of this like Chicago. We know Chicago was a wasteland team. It's like they have so many parts but don't know how to put the car engine together or the car together. But hopefully next year that could be a better team. But I think, just like you were saying, LT, they just need to go ahead and unleash Kobe White at this point in time. There's no need to dance anymore. We know what they are, but I'll pass you back the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I'll tell the listeners, I usually use my sage eye for a lot of these things. And sometimes it helps me in fantasy, but in his case, he looks like a legit starting, point guard, shooting guard, top talent. Kobe White does. So hopefully they'll give him a chance upcoming in the next year. Memphis absolutely no pun intended, mauls the Hawks tonight, 127-88. Jiminy Christmas. Did y'all even show up, ATL? Dylan Brooks, he's not one of my guys. 5 for 17, 1 snipe out of 7, 2 for 4, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 13 points. Kyle, Jonas Valanciunas, 6 for 7. Big men are being pretty efficient. 1 for 1 from the 3. Yeah, hit a snipe. 15 rebounds. Nice. No stock stats, but those 15 rebounds are a sight to see. Gave you a 15-15 game. Oh, only for the rule, baby. Ja Rule Morant, 6 for 10. 1 for 3 from the charity. Yucca Doodle Doo, 5 assists and 1 block. But Starks, I do want to kind of segue into something else here. What do you think? Do you think Zion should have any availability to be on the Rookie of the Year conversation?
I mean, he's missed most of this season. I feel like they're going to find a way to consider him potential, but I don't. Do I think he could kind of deserves it? I couldn't do it, man. I mean. That's a tough one, LT. Yeah. No, I don't think so because he missed too much time. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's why I asked you. It seems to be a big debate right now. Some people are saying, like it's crazy because some people are saying that he should be because of what he is doing, and I'm like, do you guys forget that He hasn't played all season. Of course he's energized. Of course he has. Of course he's going hard. He hasn't played all year. He's been playing for maybe about a month here, month and a half, maybe a little bit less. And it's like, yeah, he's energized. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, he was the first round pick of the draft. He should be great. He should be amazing. But he also is only going to be playing maybe less than half of the year for the remainder of the year. So I have to give it to John Morant. I don't think there's anybody else that's really in that conversation other than those two. They're talking about a
No,
man, just give it to Ja. Hey, Zion, play the games and then show me something. D'Anthony Melton, he was melting tonight. 3 for 8, 1 snipe, 4 for 5 from the free throw, 2 steals, 11 points. Ooh, looks like that bench mob for the Memphis Grizzlies just went off. Is that a wait a second, Starks? Who was our first pick on the waiver wire? Was it Gorgie Dieng, our number one on the waiver wire pick list that White Knight created? For you listeners? Sure was. And he went off tonight. 6 for 8, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, and 17 points. Starks, what do you have to say about us kind of just predicting this type of outburst?
Good job on this, Jacob, man. You put in the hard work on newlifefantasy.com on the streams and waiver wires. It's really important to utilize that. Like, listen, Jang, LT, we kind of like clown about it, but we know what he's about if you give him time. It's not the prettiest, it's not the sexiest, but these stats are good. This is production, man. 17 and 10, a double-double, right? So you was going to say something?
Why is he still playing basketball, man? Do you know why? Can you I'm Liam's completely serious. I feel like my first year of fantasy, he was people had him on their teams. Like he's been playing that long. It's crazy to me how long this guy's been in the league, caking up, getting that money as a backup center in the league. He's always been a backup center, Starks too. I don't think there's a time where maybe like stints when like Love was hurt. Or, even like Cat was hurt, even here, he's not starting. He's a backup to Valanciunas. He's like a star backup center. He's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But he had a good night tonight. Anybody else you want to talk about off this bench mob, man?
Yeah, I definitely do. And the guy is Josh Jackson.
Ooh, JJ.
Like I always like say this dude is sweet to be funny, man. I used this dude last year, and I made people upset, but I think it's fun. Like, listen, LT did this to me like years ago when we first started. And I think for you listeners, man, you guys take this too serious. You got to have fun with fantasy. So there was this one week me and LT was playing, and I think he was stuffing burritos one time, and he was busting me up. And I can't remember. It was some old dude he just decided to pick up and stream. I can't remember who it was, but it was like an old veteran, and it was just like, I'm just like, why is he doing this to me? Because he was doing it because he was enjoying winning, right? So what I did, LT, is I Sharon gunned you, I think last year, and I used Josh Jackson against somebody. And the funny thing is, we know he's a future player. Oh, look at him. He got me 7 assists in one game last year. I was just like laughing so hard, man. It's just like the out of position stats. It's just like, this poor guy. What happened to his career? But there's nothing else to really say other than Josh Jackson had a good game, and listen, he's getting rotation minutes, and that's all I got, LT. I'll pass you the ball, man.
Absolutely. That's pretty much it. That's all I have for that. I think the other guys who did good, Tyus Jones did good as well. 9 assists. Wow. In 18 minutes. That's really good. If you have him on your back end, that's a little Sage. He's having the time of his life. Anthony Tolliver also was the Tolliver's Travels, 4 for 5, 4 snipes. Is that it? Is that Tolliver's Travel? Is that it?
I don't think so.
Is it Gulliver's? Anyways,
I thought it was Oliver's.
What was it? Oliver's what? Oliver's Twist, right? Tolliver Twist. There it goes.
That's all right.
There we go.
And let me help you out also. Gorgie Jang, yeah, he's been in the league forever, right? He's 34 years old, but yeah, he's pretty old.
He's old, man. I can't believe he's still playing at a high level against. Oh, wait, who is he against? Bruno Fernando. That explains it all. 1 for 8 for Bruno. Hey, Bruno Mars. Oh, man, you just stop it. DeAndre Hunter, Hunter x Hunter, right? No, no one was getting hunted tonight. 3 for 11, 0 for 4 from the threes. and just not a good game from him. And Trey Young, Trigger Trey, doing his best Harden impression, 5 for 17, but got to the free throw line 9 times to salvage his game. Because guess what? He also had 7 turnovers. Ugh, who was sticking them? Someone had the clamps on Trigger Trey tonight. Kevin Herter, he was hurting for some points, 5 for 14, 3 snipes, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Did get you some. Did get you some. Did get you.
It's terrible.
Did get you some stock stats in Starks. Teague, Jeff Teague. Anybody off the bench you want to talk about on the
Yeah, dude. Vince Carter, 42 years old. Listen, I'm going to stream him against you next time I play you, man.
We're playing each other right now, actually, man.
Are we?
Leagues. Yeah, we are playing each other in one of the leagues.
Get ready to get this Vince Carter stream.
Hey man, you put him in your lineup, man. I like Vince Carter. I want to see him succeed. But yeah, that's all I have for the games. Kevin Herter was hurting for some points. Hey, that was not bad, Starks. I know you're laughing about it, but I really don't think it was that bad. But that is all I have on the games tonight.
No, man, listen, man, it's okay. I say bad jokes all the time, but, man, I don't know about that one, man. Listen.
You said something recently, something about Skeeter Valentine.
Hey, that was pretty good, man.
I like that one. You segued.
Hey, man,
good.
I mean, you said Patty Mayonnaise, right? That was okay, right?
Continuation. Hey, you're right.
Hey, man, So, listeners, we'll kind of just transition maybe on a Dynasty guy, and then we'll close up shop. I think it only makes sense. Actually, let's just go ahead and talk about Mitch Robinson. Ooh, this is really interesting. Now, I know it's going to probably hurt people's feelings because a lot of people paid a high premium. They paid a back-end first round, early second round talent in the redraft and points league. Dynasty formats, he was going high, and I just couldn't do it. And I understand people were like, oh, yeah, Starks, what about DSJ? Listen, there's a huge difference. There's a huge gap because DSJ, you didn't have to reach for him that high, man. He was a flyer type of guy. I always talk about getting him after the hundreds range. But getting back to Mitch Robinson, to be honest, he's played a little bit better here recently. Now, although he doesn't start, it's okay. The last 2 weeks, guess what? He actually almost has been giving you the second round value. Is close. He's doing that a little bit now, but for this season, you paid that premium and you're only getting 54. You're getting like an ADP value of like around the 50 to 60 range currently right now. Just like what LT has, the 9 points and 7 rebounds. If he doesn't get the blocks, he's a nobody. It sucks to say that, but it's true. And you're feeling like, man, what does he do? That is what he does. I mean, what he does is gets blocks. And if his blocks is dried out, then who are you? That's what I always say. Like Miles Turner, for instance, if his blocks disappears, then who are you? At least he can hit threes. But Mitch Robinson, on the other hand, if you don't get the blocks, then who are you? Because your usage rate is putrid. You don't shoot shots. And that is a tough pill to swallow, meaning he doesn't score a lot of points. His usage rate is a little bit higher this year, but 14% is really bad in a usage rate on any NBA player. I will say that his minutes, he's only got 3 more minutes this year than last year. And gosh, only 2 more points this year. He's not making any 3-pointers. His blocks is actually dried up this year, right? So he's averaging 1.9 blocks with more minutes. He had 2.4 blocks last season. So it's just like, where is the improvement? And I expect him to play a little bit better next year, but this is really bad. Now, in a dynasty format, the next 3 to 4 years, we know what New York is. What did you say, LT? They had like a new president. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Leon.
Leon Phelps. Okay, cool. If you guys are familiar with that, it's the ladies' man. But maybe you didn't see that movie. Maybe LT, that's past your time. But I will say Mitch Robinson. The next 3 to 4 years, if they play the cards right and he finally starts next season or the next couple years, he could potentially be a top 25 player. And that's still hard for me to say because that's really good in 3 to 4 year span. Do I expect him to be that next year? He potentially could be. I will say this, what's going to change? His value is going to decrease after this year because everybody was burnt this year. This is kind of reminds me of Miles Turner a few years ago. He got burned. Everybody was like, I'm done. Like I'm off the Miles Turner bandwagon. I was like, listen, Miles Turner's going to break out last season. I didn't say this year. I expected a regression from Miles Turner this year, just to be fair. But I said there's a breakout year that I believe Miles Turner will last year, and he did. Now, Mitch Robinson, there's a potential a bounce back season next year. It's just going to go by if they allow him to start, if they allow him to get the minutes. But the block rate is very important. If he doesn't get his blocks rate up, then you're going to have to be faced with the monkster himself, which is Taj Gibson. He's ready. But I'll pass you the ball, LT. Do you think Taj Gibson is going to keep stifling him? And what's your thoughts on Mitch Robinson in the future, man?
Yeah, man. I wanted to go ahead and just be like you. So I'm going to end I'm going to do my clutch shot and do a dynasty projection for Taj Gibson for people who are in dynasty leagues. If you have Taj Gibson, he is obviously the starter to own in the New York Knickerbockers because he was born in 1985. So that puts him at, 35 years old, 34, 30. He's old. So, I mean, with that amount of age on him, guess what? He's still getting 20 plus. I think he's averaging, hold on, let me see real quick. Oh, no, just kidding. 16 minutes per game. And those are 16 minutes that should be given to Mitch Robinson, right? But they're not doing that. Mitch Robinson should be having 30 plus minutes. The fact that he only has, is it 22 minutes? Am I correct in looking at this? He's basically 23 minutes is what Mitch Robinson averaged this year on 56 games. It's not enough. It's not enough time for Mitch, and I agree with everything you said, Starks, man. It sucks that Taj is kind of stifling him and his production and his evolution, but hey, we expect nothing less from the Knicks. So hopefully next year, Mitch can get closer to 30. Mitch can get closer to 30 minutes per game, like I stated, like I always say, I love opportunity. The more opportunity, the more availability for those points to go up, for those rebound averages to go up, and maybe even averaging assists a game would be nice to come from Mitch. But that's all I got, Starks, and pass the rock back over to you, man.
Yeah, and last thing, just to juice the orange a little bit more on Mitch Robinson, like I was saying, the last couple of weeks has been getting like almost where you drafted him in a lot of leagues the last couple weeks in 6 games. He actually is the 2.8 blocks because of the minutes has kind of risen a little bit. But I hope, there's better days to come for him. But for this year, you guys got to take it. Maybe around the end of the season. I know this, LT, there was a lot of people frustrated. They was wanting to drop him in shallow formats. Listen, when you pay this high for a player, even in a shallow format, you gotta bite the bullet and just take it for what it is, because he could come back and do better, and he actually is right now. So we can get into the clutch shots here. So you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we appreciate you. The clutch shot is more of we did the episode 200 that LT put the hard work on, so we appreciate him doing the YouTube with the audio and the video as well. And we're doing a fantasy baseball listener league as well too. LT, you can't run away from it. Lewis has already got in. We're just waiting on you now, man, and we expect you to get a championship. And that's my clutch shot. I'll pass you the ball, man.
Oh man,
you just hit the lightning bolt like you do anyways.
Yeah, all right, man. Wouldn't that be sweet? What if I just hit the lightning ball and win? My clutch shot. My clutch shot's gonna be this wonderful team, man. I'm actually looking forward to seeing more from my guy right here, Chris Gutierrez. Just posted up recently about Christian Wood. Christian Wood has been playing pretty well as well. I just wanted to mention that Starks is a soothsayer in that way, where players either get hurt or they do really well. There's no middle ground for him, so that's good. But Chris Gutierrez is going to be bringing you some clear, especially when football season hits. I'm sure he's going to be all in there like swimwear. And then we got our guy here, Micah, Fantasy Central 1. He's going to be coming in with the hot baseball information for you. Follow him on Twitter if you are interested in baseball, like I'm sure everyone is, because baseball fantasy is the best, right, Starks? And then of course our all around, he's like a shortstop, man. Our shortstop, the White Knight, Jacob, can he do no wrong? Probably not. He's going to be, I'm sure he's going to be doing baseball as well as keeping you up to date on football and basketball. And of course, I don't have Starks up here because he's right there, right below me, the man himself. And he's going to be giving you guys the content as well as keeping you in track on all the deals that baseball has to offer. So this is an incredible team. It's going to be amazing for you guys. And I may be here on baseball. We'll see. I haven't formally committed to joining the league yet, but I know I got a lot of people who want me to join, so I might have to put some time in for the baseball. Luckily, there's nothing else going on, so it'll just be baseball. It'll just be one league. So I will be able to put some time into it. Whereas I'm in like 6 basketball leagues. Why, I don't know, but yeah.
Ooh, hey man, listen, basketball, man. I think there's one more Dynasty league, and then hopefully I'm gonna start trimming.
I'm trimming the fat after this year. It was just too many leagues, man. And there's one league I'm actually doing good in, so like I've been just keeping track of that one on pickups, and then like by the time I get to the leagues I'm doing terrible in, it's like lightning bolt time.
Oh man, so yeah, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. You can find me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Closing Hero. Give me a follow, ask me a question, and I'll get to you at a prompt time. LT, I'll pass you the ball. Where can they find you at, man?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Sage Network X. Also can find me at _Sage Network _ on IG. I post a lot of things about my workout journey. Also posting about anything that you want to talk about, so including fantasy basketball. Don't ask me about fantasy baseball. I have no idea what's going on right now. But fantasy basketball, I'm there for you. And yeah, all love to you guys.
Yep. All right. So listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you guys listen to fantasy football, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Is a cheap plug. If you guys are familiar with the counselor, Joseph Roberts, I'm going to be a guest on his podcast. So just be on the lookout for that. I think it's the fantasy football counselor. I think that's his name, but he's actually pretty big in the fantasy football community. He is, I know there's a tiers. Obviously the fantasy footballers are pretty big. But this guy is actually another legit guy. He takes a lot of bold takes. So just be on the lookout for that. I should be recording with him tomorrow. So if you guys like, fantasy football, check that out. I mean, me, LT, I will say LT does fantasy football for sure. He puts fantasy baseball super on the back burner, but he does fantasy football. And honestly, our whole cast does fantasy football. So be on the lookout for that. And again, I think, did I pass you the ball already for the?
You did.
Okay. So, yeah. Was he working out with Antonio Brown? That can't be right. Maybe. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, well, AB, hope things get better for you, brother. So, God bless you guys. With that being said, have a good evening, morning, afternoon, and take a ride.